Welcome, everyone. My name is Antonia Villasenor, and I'm with the California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation. It's my pleasure today to welcome you to this webinar about the Consumer Protection Week, Discover Your Power, where we'll have presentations today from the Department of Consumer Affairs, the California Department of Real Estate, and the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation. So first, I'd like to introduce Matt Woodcheck from the Department of Consumer Affairs. Oh, sorry. First, I have a welcome to give you all. This webinar is being recorded and will be shared afterwards. So you can definitely, if you're watching now, you'll definitely get a copy. And you can also look at the DFPI website to see it again. And your cameras and microphones have been turned off. Please use the Zoom Q&A feature to submit your questions to us. We're not going to be using the chat today. And we do have a dedicated time at the end of the webinar for a live Q&A. Next slide, please. So I have the pleasure of introducing Matt Woodchuck from the Department of Consumer Affairs today. Please take it away, Matt.
Great, thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I'm so pleased to be here with you today for Consumer Protection Week and here with Anthony and Antonia to share information about the Department of Consumer Affairs and all of the resources that you as a California consumer can use to discover your power. Let's go ahead to the next slide, please. Actually, one more, please. Thank you. So again, I'm Matt Woodcheck. I'm the manager of the Office of Public Affairs for the Department of Consumer Affairs. We are, our initials are DCA. You're going to hear me say that a lot today. Again, thank you to all of you who have joined us on the call today to watch. I'm so pleased to be here and share these great resources with you. Go ahead to the next slide, please. So for background, for the last few years, DCA has taken time every December to celebrate consumer protection. We look at this as a time that we can shine a spotlight on how consumers can educate themselves, empower themselves, and basically protect themselves all year long. This year, we're really grateful to have this partnership with the Department of Real Estate and the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation to protect consumers and help spread the word about consumer protection. If you're already kind of familiar with the Department of Consumer Affairs with DCA, we hope that you'll learn something new about the department today. And if you're not familiar with DCA at all, we really hope to change that. We think that knowledge is power, and that's why we're all here to share this information. Our goal really is to empower as many Californians as we can so that everyone has the information that they need when they're doing business or seeking services, that they can take action to protect their money, their peace of mind, and much more. Next slide, please. So before we get into all the details, I'd like to share a little bit about who DCA is. Like I said, some of you may already be familiar with DCA. If you've ever gone to get your nails done, if you've ever worked with a contractor on your home for a remodeling project, if you go to the dentist for a checkup, or you take your car to a smog check, the Department of Consumer Affairs, DCA, has a role in all of that. DCA is made up of 36 different boards and bureaus that issue licenses, over 280 different types of licenses. So that means when you're visiting that nail salon, the manicurist is licensed by a DCA board, specifically the Board of Barbering and Cosmetology. When you work with a contractor, they're licensed by the contractor's state license board. The dentist who does your works on your teeth, they're licensed by the Dental Board of California, and that smog check station is licensed by the Bureau of Automotive Repair. These are just a few examples of DCA's many, many boards and bureaus, 36 total, that you may interact with every day. Maybe you know it, maybe you don't. So a professional that has a license means that they've met California's licensing requirements to practice or to perform services. That means that they're protected, or that consumers are. And a license is important because not only is it required for many industries, it's also used when as a marker for when someone is out there without a license is practicing. That's unlicensed activity that comes with huge risks. Go ahead to the next slide, please. So how can you keep yourself safe? These are the three things that I want you to know about DCA. Next slide. Our number one tip is to look up the license. Before you do business with someone who is licensed or should be licensed by a DCA board or bureau, please look up that license on our website. It's search.dca.ca.gov. You can also call us to check that license at 800-952-5210. There are 3.5 million licensees in California spread out across all of our boards and bureaus. There's a huge number of it. When you check a license, you'll want to make sure that it's valid, make sure that it's not expired. You'll want to make sure that it's in good standing, that it hasn't been suspended. And you'll also want to make sure that it has been clear of any disciplinary actions that the board or the bureau may have taken against a licensee. If there are actions against a license, we want you to look at the public documents. They'll be posted on that license page, and that will help you guide your decision about whether you want to proceed with that practitioner or that service provider. Next slide, please. The second tip that we want you to know is to call us. Consumers, licensees, and applicants can all call DCA's Consumer Information Center for information and assistance. That's that phone number that I gave you just a moment ago. I'm going to repeat it because it's super important. It's 1-800-952-5210. The call center agents at DCA or in the Consumer Information Center, those agents can provide assistance with filing a complaint. They can help you verify a license. They can provide consumer information to you, and they can do all of this in more than 300 languages. That includes languages like Triqui and Mixteco. And again, all of that is available just by calling that telephone number, 800-952-5210. Next slide, please. And the last tip that I want to share with you today is about consumer resources. DCA has many, many resources and publications that are available for consumers, either online or in the mail. Our website is loaded with consumer information to help you stay informed, like our Get to Know DCA guide booklet, which is available in English and 5 other languages. DCA boards and bureaus also have consumer information on their websites. It is also often available in other languages, multiple languages. And in addition to accessing it online at DCA's website or at the board and bureau websites, you can call us at that Consumer Information Center number and request to have a copy of a publication sent to you. Next slide, please. So in summary, there are, again, those 3 things that we want you to do. One is to always, you can look up a license. Like I said, there's 3.5 million licensees across all of the DCA boards and bureaus. All of them can be accessed starting at that website, search.dca.ca.gov. We'll show you that website again in a moment here. And always make sure that you're checking with those practitioners to make sure that they're licensed in good standing. Our second item, again, was to call our Consumer Information Center for information and assistance. And our third item was to find those many resources and publications that are available for free on all of our websites. Next slide, please. So before we end, we have 2 tasks that we're really asking all consumers and all Californians to do. One, I've said that phone number 3 or 4 times now. I'm only going to say it one more time, but I'm going to keep it on the screen here because what I really want you to do is go ahead and put it into your phone and save it as a contact. It's that Consumer Information Center. And again, it's 800-952-5210. You can also save our website, dca.ca.gov. From there, you can access that search tool that I talked about. You can access all of those consumer resources. You can link to all of our boards and bureaus and see who it is that we offer licenses to and who is required to have licenses under California law. And so the next time that you need to have that, you need to find that dentist, or you need to find that car contractor, or you need to get that car repaired, or anything else that might be licensed by DCA, please look up the license before you set that appointment. And in closing, I just want to say thank you again and I will turn it back over to Antonia.
Thank you, Matt. Great job. I really appreciate that information. And I look forward to contacting you when I have questions about services I'm going to use. Can we have the next slide, Koo, please? So I'm, I'm Antonia. I'm a targeted outreach specialist with the Department of Financial Protection. And from now on, we'll just call it the DFPI by its acronym. Next slide, please. So who is the DFPI and what's our role? Really, it's about consumer protection. The foundation of DFPI's mission, vision, and role is to champion and uphold financial protections for all Californians. And our phone number is 866 275 2677. And we also have operators available in many different languages to help any Californian with their issues. And our website will continue to be posted. And if I haven't said so already, this will be posted to at least the DFPI websites. We'll know soon if it's going to be on the DCA's and the DRE's websites, but you can definitely look this up again if you need any of these websites and phone numbers. Next slide, please. So who do we regulate? We license and regulate financial institutions like banks and credit unions that are state licensed, non-bank lenders like payday and mortgage lenders, and money transmitters and issuers of payment instruments. We also license securities and investment advisors and student loan servicers, debt collectors, and other financing products. Next slide, please. We want you to know you can get help from the DFPI in different ways. You can submit a complaint and report fraud and scams. That's really, really important. We need to hear from you. Sometimes one case will break open a multi-million dollar, one complaint will break open a multi-million dollar case. So this is our website for submitting complaints. And if you want, you can call us and we will mail a complaint form to you if you prefer not to do it online. We also have consumer news and alerts and information available to you at our website, where there you can verify service provider information, you can search enforcement records, and we also have a crypto scam tracker where you can see examples of scams that people have already suffered. Maybe it sounds like the story you're getting. We also have student loan resources and information. We have a great student loan servicing ombudsperson, Selena Damien, who's our expert and can help with student loan questions and issues. So we also have a student loan empowerment network at studentloanhelp.dfpi.ca.gov, where people can get a personalized assistance for their situation. Next slide, please. And I'm happy to talk about the financial education and empowerment, where people can download educational brochures. You can also call us to ask if we have printed copies of some. We'll be happy to send them to you. We also have no cost online financial education on our website and investor education, so you could go at your own pace. And we also have a Consumer Connection monthly email newsletter that we hope that you'll take a look at. That comes to you every month. If you subscribe, we promise we won't spam you. You'll get up-to-date updates information. We also have events, webinars, and workshops that you can see when and where on our website. And we want to partner with you and other organizations for presentations for financial literacy topics and also scam prevention. So there's our outreach website where you can look up when and where or ask for a presentation. And we also offer presentations in English, Spanish, and Korean. Next slide, please. So we want you to stay connected to the DFPI. You can call us at 866 275 2677. You can email us at outreach@dfpi.ca.gov. And we're also available on social media at Facebook, LinkedIn, X, and YouTube. So we want you to have access to us anytime you need us. Next slide, please. Okay, that's my presentation, and it's my pleasure to introduce and hand the mic over to Anthony Vo at the Department of Real Estate.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining us today. I want to say thank you to the DFPI for including us in this event today. I want to thank you to my other speaker, Matt, who did a great job, and following Antonia. I don't know how I'm going to follow these two presentations, but I'm going to do with my best. I am Anthony Vo. As an indication here is that I am one of the supervisors at the Department of Real Estate in the Los Angeles District Office. I work out the enforcement section where we conduct investigations for any real estate license activities or anyone conducting license activities that are not properly licensed. Please move on to the next slide. The Department of Real Estate is a licensing agency that issues real estate broker or salesperson licenses and public reports to subdividers, developers of California real estate property. We have 5 district offices: Fresno, the Los Angeles office is where I worked out of, Oakland, San Diego, and Sacramento. Next slide, please. If you are looking for someone to assist you with the purchasing or selling of property, renting a property, or listing a property for rent, managing your rental property, and or obtaining a mortgage loan, what you need to do is to check with DRE if the person is licensed. When in California, it is unlawful for anyone who assists others or another for compensation or in expectation of compensation, regardless of the form or time, in providing real estate services, including the advertising of these services, if the person is not licensed as either a real estate broker or a salesperson employed with a real estate broker. When these individuals are issue a license, what they will also issue nowadays is a pocket license card as the size of a credit card. So when you do get service and meet someone who is considered a licensed person, always ask for their card to verify. Only that individual that the license has been issued to should have that card. In addition, when an individual, whether it's a salesperson or a broker, is providing mortgage loan services that are loan for residential 1 to 4 units and is for personal, family, and household, a mortgage loan originator endorsement is required on top of the broker's license or salesperson's license. Next slide, please. But what you need to know is that whether a licensee is properly licensed. For a real estate broker, the license we issue to a broker could be either an individual license, just like you and me, or a corporation. For corporation, and both the brokers, whether it's an individual or a corporation, it's required to have a valid main office address. Now, valid main office address must be a physical location, but not a postal annex, which are like mailbox or PO box. And for corporations, it is required that an individual broker is listed as the designated officer. Now, in addition to the corporation being in good standing, being licensed, we at the DRE requires all corporations to be in good standing with the Secretary of State. Now, for any of those who do want to do your due diligence checks, if a broker's license is a corporation, you could check with the California Secretary of State to determine that the license is, the corporation status is active. Now, for the Department of Real Estate, we don't look at that until there's an investigation filed against the corporations or a licensee, salesperson or broker who are employed with a corporation. For salesperson, a salesperson must be employed with a real estate broker, whether the broker is an individual or corporations, and all activities, transactions, and advertisings are to be performed through the same responsible broker. Now note, individual broker could choose to be employed with another broker, whether the broker is whether that responsible broker is an individual or corporation. Now, there are other terms used in the industry, such as that you might hear that a person is describing him or herself as a licensee, is the word realtor or real estate agent, or short agent. Now, for the Department of Real Estate, we at times also refer to our the brokers or salespersons or licensees. Next slide, please. Now, in short, we want you to verify when you want to verify a person, an individual's license or not. You can check with the Department of Real Estate either on the website, which is www.dre.ca.gov, or call us directly at our public information is 877-373-4542. Now, if you are a consumer that you feel that you have been damaged or misrepresented by a licensee or someone who is not licensed in performing the License Act, you can file a complaint by logging into our website or either through an online system or fill out a hard complaint form. It's called an RE 519 form, and you can fill out the complaint and send it to the Department of Real Estate. Now, it does have different district offices that you can check depending on which county you live in. And if for whatever reason it is that you do not have access to an internet, go ahead and give us a call. We will gladly send out the complaint to you. I'm going to return back the presentation back to Antonia. And for now, I'll leave it up to Antonia.
Thank you, Anthony. That was great. And also, Matt, that was some great information. I learned a lot today, and I'm looking to see our Q&A, and we don't have any questions at this point. So I'd like to pose a question to both of you. And we talk a lot about, and we do mention, I know all state agencies ask for complaints to be sent in writing. Why can't I just call if I'm a consumer and tell you what happened? Why is it important to submit complaints to you in writing?
Since I have my, Matt, do you want to go first, Matt?
Sure, I can kind of lead it off. I think it's obviously with complaints, we definitely want to make sure that we're fully capturing what it is that the consumers that are making the complaint are trying to say. So I think that's a big reason why we ask for it in writing, is that we really want it to be kind of a permanent record, and we don't want it to have that area where we're trying to interpret what somebody is saying, where we may miss some of the meaning. So that's really why we ask that complaints be submitted in writing. And if you call our Consumer Information Center, they'll help you access those forms that you can do that. We have them available in multiple languages. But it is important that we do get that information from you in writing. You're kind of your first person, your first-hand account of what has happened to you.
For the Department of Real Estate, our complaint, it has to originate from the written form. The complaint form is require you to sign under penalty of perjury. On the online complaint, it won't have that section where you sign under penalty of perjury, but once you file a complaint through an online system, we will proceed with obtaining a declaration from you, because that would be the testimony, and all the complaints has to be signed under penalty of perjury. Verbal complaint cannot be accepted at this time. So, and again, if you can't do it because of you have no access to the internet, you want to go ahead and call us, and we'll mail in the complaint. And when you mail in a complaint, it is best to submit copies of all the documentations during your transaction, during the activities. Now, what it is that you do not send us, you don't need to send us the original copy, but you do need to send us a copy. Now, for the online system, there's limited space that you can upload documentation. So it is most likely you won't be able to upload a lot. At that time, again, we will contact you and we'll request the documentation. If you don't have documentation because you were not provided, then that's something you want to indicate. And through our investigation process, we would be obtaining that documentation as well. And also, I would like to mention is that when you file a complaint with the Department of Real Estate, now it is understandable that real estate transactions overlaps in several jurisdictions, meaning it could be an ethical violations versus a violation that we deem as a violation of real estate law, or that sometimes the violation itself, such as conversion of mishandling of trust funds, could be considered a criminal act. And therefore, that type of allegations, it would be considered more of a criminal aspect. And sometimes it's a civil contractual issue. So depending on the type of complaint, we will investigate everything that falls in our jurisdiction. But the complaint information will explain what it is that you anticipate or you expect. So that way, if you have a need to contact an attorney, that's something that you will need to, or an arresting agency, a police agency, or a district attorney's office when there's some type of crime has been committed against you.
Thank you. And for the Department of Financial, for DFPI, the same is true. We also need a written complaint, and people can call us if they don't want to submit it online. They can call us and receive a printed form, or they can download it in English or Spanish to submit complaints. And I also just want to say that sometimes we see transactions happen with just cash. And sometimes that's a red light right there, depending on the transaction. Like if it's an investment or you're doing some other big dollar amount, paying a mortgage, or paying a real estate agent a big dollar amount, and they want cash, that's a red flag right there. But in any case, if you are paying in cash, please get a written receipt, because that can become part of your documentation that the departments need to see. And I really want to encourage everyone to call each department, call us and ask about, who do I need to complain to about this issue? And if it's not us, we'll let you know who does, because your complaints really matter. It's very crucial for us to hear from consumers about what's going on and what experiences you're having. Thank you so much today for joining us, Matt and Anthony, for Department of Consumer Affairs, Department of Real Estate. And I want to thank you for all your work in protecting consumers all over California. I hope you all have a good one.